Hi Emily, welcome back to the channel. I'm a bit dark, lighting's rubbish. Went to the auction, saw a 55-inch Samsung TV. Got it for the hammer price of £23 with the VAT and the auctioneer's charges, works out about £28. The only thing on the description said it had a flashing red light, so we don't even know if the screen's working or whether the screen's smashed, but took a chance on it. But let's get this apart, see if we can fix it, and then we'll find out whether the screen actually works. Right, run the intro. Right, it's going to be a bit hard to do, a bit hard to film this. Haven't got my mic on, sounds a bit rubbish at the moment. When we get the board out and try and fix it, we'll be back on the blue mat. We'll have our mic on. Let's try and turn this over without breaking the screen. A couple of horrible scratches on the back. Right, so where we are. Here is the model number. So it is a UE55 KU470OU. Serial numbers down here. Apparently if you've got a 15-digit code, the date code is the, what is it, the 8th and the 9th letter, so HB. And there is a website you can look up on Samsung, it tells you what the date code is. So this is actually November 2016. A couple of nasty little scratches on the back of there. All the ports are looking fine. And what I didn't actually do while it was up the other way is test it to make sure the auction house was telling the truth, and it's just got a red light. So I could turn it on, it could just be working with a broken screen. Right, so that should be on now. Let's lift it up a minute. Hopefully you can see that is flickering and flashing. Yeah, and up here you can just see, I don't know if you can see, I can't zoom in, this is hard to do one-handed. The red light on the standby is flashing, so it's like it's turning on and off. So hopefully that is either going to be, a rough guess, I'm no expert on TVs, but it's either going to be a power board issue, or I don't think it's going to be an LED light issue. I think it's going to be power board. Right, let me figure out how to get this back panel off. You usually have like these little holes in there you have bung a tool into. The last one of these I did, it had like a wire cable. You have a special tool to push in there, and it pushes on the wire cable and releases the back. Once you've got it started, it tends to be easy to get up. Yeah, got one down that side as well. Hopefully you can just see that. Right, so I'm just going to try lifting this corner up a little bit. Just want to run this along the side to try and get the clips to pop. You can hear a couple of them going. Run this around the edge. See, so that side is now unclipped. I'm just going to try and do that all the way around. It's just a sticky pad. Hammer in. We're looking a bit brown in there, so it could be from a smoker's home. So there we go, that is the back off. Alright, so this over here is our power board. Alright, so this is a dangerous area. Don't copy what I'm doing, just take this for entertainment purposes only. We've got a couple of 450 volt capacitors in there. We've just had this turned on, so that could still contain some high voltage in it. So you just need to be very careful of where you're putting your hands. Let's bring our multimeter in. Let's get it onto our DC voltage. You can't see that from there. Hopefully you can see that one. Right, so let's measure our voltage on these capacitors. See what we've got in them, if anything. No, 4 volts in that one. This will be the same because they'll be in parallel series. So no, they're fine. They're fine. Right, so just going to have a quick look around the board, see if I can just see anything, and then we'll probably get it off, get another microscope, or maybe just disconnect the T-con board, which is the board over this side, disconnect the wires, and just see if it will turn on with the backlight. Maybe there's a problem with the T-con board, we don't know yet. Let me come back if I find anything. Right, let me just do a few tests first, because I should be able to test whether the backlights are staying on and if what panel's actually not working. The plug's not in at the moment, but let's plug this in. Right, that's not a T-con board. This hasn't got a T-con board. Usually the T-con board would be in here somewhere. That board will connect to the T-con, and the T-con connects to that. So this doesn't have T-con board. Presume this one over here is going to be for the backlights. So this one's going over to the main motherboard. This is obviously your power supply. So what I'm going to do is disconnect this cable. Disconnect that, so all we've got on now is the power supply board. So hopefully when we plug this in, the only thing that will work is the backlights. So let's plug it in, see what happens. No, and our backlights, if you can see over here, our backlights are flicking on and off. So I think we have a problem with the power supply. Let me unplug it. That is actually good news, because now we know our panel should be okay. Our actual TV panel is fine. So we have a problem in the power supply board. So before we go anywhere near this again, let's check our voltage in these big caps. 380 volts. So you don't want to be going anywhere near that. 380 volts. That is going to give you the shock of your life. It's going down slowly. It's still only 350 volts. That is going down very slowly. So here I have my capacitor discharger. It's literally just a couple of resistors. So hopefully you can see there, that's 2 watts, 27k, 27 kilo ohms. I've got 2 of them together, just on a bit of 2.5 mil sort of household cable. Let me see if I can do this with my multimeter connected as well. Live life on the edge here. Right, so hopefully you can see it's 293 volts in that. So now I can touch these wires on the capacitor. Now you should see that drain, 100 to 100, 90, 80, 60, 50, 40, 30, 30, 20, down to 10 volts, 6 volts. There we go, so that has slowly and safely discharged those caps. Probably could have been done a bit slower. What you don't want to do is get yourself a screwdriver and short these caps out. You can do it now because it's very low voltage, but do not do that. I see so many people do that. That will spark. It's quite dangerous and it's bad for the capacitor, so don't do it. Get yourself some high ohm resistors, and that will slowly discharge it. All it basically does is converts it into heat, but these don't get very hot at all. But that is a safer way of doing it. Right, we've got a marker on the board here. The standby volt is 7.5 and on is 11.8. So we've got everything plugged back in now. So I'm just going to measure these voltages. I'm expecting to see it go up and down, turning on and off. Let's have a quick check. Yeah, all the LED lights are flashing. Right, so we're on the cold side of the board, so we can use this ground up here, and I just want to go on this where it's saying the voltage here, and as you can see, hopefully it's going from up to 9 volts back down to 3 volts. So it's not like it's actually turned. I'm just going to press the power button, see if that makes any difference. Back on this leg here. No, it's jumping up between 3 and 9 volts. That's not behaving as it should. There we go, that's discharge down at 1 volt. Now what I want to do, I'm going to actually disconnect the LED lights, just in case we've got a problem with the LED lights. Then that's literally everything checked. So let's plug it in now. Right, so we have no LED lights at all. Let's see what voltage we get on here now. Yeah, so now we're getting a steady 12.7 volts. It says if it's on, it's like 11.8. So that's looking about right at a minute. So that looks like it is on. Let's flip the screen up. So unplug it quick. I'm going to flip it up, plug it in, and we're going to see if we get an image on the screen. How much can you see of that? Right. Yeah, see the reflection of the messy room. Right. Plugging it in now. Our standby light flashes. Right, I've got a LED light here. I'm going to put up to full whack, 100%, and see if we can see anything on the screen. Oh, I see something. Can you see? I don't know if you can go be able to see that in there. Select the source from below. Our screen is on. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that at all. But we have got text on the screen. It's an LED problem. Alright, so you know what that means? That means taking all the panels out. Not my favourite job in the world. I've done another video on taking the bezels on a screen like this off before on a Samsung. Probably go and check that out. It's a bit fiddly. It's the most dangerous part where you could crack the screen. So let me just get all these bits off and try and get this apart. Right, so we've got the 3 sheets up there, and you do have this last sheet that is on here, which is actually stuck. It's only stuck in the middle down there. You want to try to avoid getting creases in it like I've done there. But yeah, we can lift this up. It's literally just stuck on that middle piece. But look down here. It's going to show all the hairs on the carpet. But you see that black LED on that one? I think that might be our problem. That could be shorting that whole row. Because actually when I was looking at the flashing lights, it's like this side of the screen wasn't lighting up as much as it was over this side. So I think that set of lights, as you can see, it's in 2 lots. There's your one connection there, split in the middle. There's your other connection over there. So I'm just going to get this out of here now, which is just held on by a few screws. So you're going to pull that out, disconnect it, and we'll see if we can test out these LEDs, see if anything's shorted down there. So here, let's see, so zoom into this burnt part, and we'll have a look under the microscope in a minute. Look at all that in there. Something's gone on under there and burned it up. Maybe something has fused, maybe something's shorted under there. It's really hard to tell. Alright, so I'm just going to get the multimeter in and stick it onto diode mode there, that little symbol. And hopefully if we just go onto the back of these LEDs we can go and test them all to see if they turn on. As long as I get the leads around the right way. Alright, so that LED is actually turning on. So is that one. So is that one. So even though they look utterly burnt, the LEDs look okay. Don't know whether that one's a bit dimmer. There's just a little gap in the back of these. Oh, that one's literally hanging off the board. Let's try a continuity test just from the back strip to there. See, why is that the only one? Oh no, that one as well. Those 2 points are shortened to the back, nothing else is. They're not shortened to the back. That leg is, and that leg is, because those two will be joined together anyway, wouldn't they? Because they'll all be linked in series, so that one would be linked with that one. But then nothing else. So I wonder if this has gone. I don't think it's burnt. Is that all metal? Oh, it could have burnt through that little strip there. See, that's all metal. And I think you got a little cover in there that probably has a circuit board. I wonder if that has burnt through there and is now touching the back plate and shorting these ones out. Might try and apply some heat and see if I can lift this up. That is probably just glued on there. I think that is just a protective cover. Should we try and heat that up, unstick it a bit, see if we can see what's under there. Right, I'm just going to use 150 degrees on this. It will burn your hand if you left it on there too long. It's hot, but it's not going to melt any plastic. I wonder if I should just try cutting that. So we can actually see our traces here now. So you can see it's on pin 2 and 5. You see one coming down going that way, the other one coming down and going either way. Yeah, so it's like these are copper pads. So that one's connecting to that one's connecting. Yeah, so see, that's a pad there, so that LED is connecting to this side of the LED. And you've got another pad, so this pad would connect to this side. And then that would be a pad that's completely blown that would connect that one to that one. And so on. I'm hoping you can just see that. Right, so meter on continuity mode, so you'll hear it beep when I connect the two together. So I don't know, is that connecting to the back? No. Right, let me just... Tape's coming unstuck. Right, let me just stick this so it's touching the back under there. This pad's not making a connection with the back. But yeah, look at that. This is all lifted up. So yeah, it's over here. So this pad, that whole pad is connecting through to the back plate. That is our problem. So we need to disconnect that. We need to cut this trace. We need to try and disconnect probably a few of these LEDs from the back, maybe the 3. We can buy some new strips. I think you can buy them for about 30 quid. But I just want to make sure that this is the problem with it. I think we're just going to have to... This one's hanging off anyway. That one is literally hanging off the board. That one has literally just been snapped off the board by me. So you can see that trace just connected to that leg. It's connected to that one. So I can cut that off of there. Right, so that is obviously going to now, we're totally going to lose our connection, so only part of these LEDs will work. Although you're probably still going to get the short because of this one. So let's do this under the microscope. Let's see if we can see if this copper is touching the back. Let's get the microscope out. Right, so here's a microscope. I would love to get a much better microscope. It's just a tiny little screen. It was very, very cheap. I actually got it from auction for about 4 quid. 4 or 5 quid I think it was. Right, let me get to the microscope recording. So if that is the metal backboard, the metal back plate of these lights, I reckon that is touching it. So I've got one lead on the back of the metal back plate of this, and yeah, that is the metal back plate you can see there, surrounded by charcoal. So that is making contact with the back plate. Well, I'm just going to try to clean this up with a bit of IPA. To see if we can see what we're doing a little bit better. See, so this is all like charcoal. This is where it's charred. This is conductive as well. So if you ever get anything that's burnt out and you have all this like charring on it, that is actually conductive. Might have to take this LED out as well. Might have to have 2 LEDs out, I think. Right, so we're definitely seeing a bit more now. So you can see that's definitely the backing plate of this light strip. So now if I was to touch that and the back, I'll be able to see it by touching this here. There you go, because the metal strip's touching this. Presume that's going to be it as well. Yeah, that's me just touching the edge of the copper, so we are touching there now. It's not shorting through there anymore. It's not shorting through that back plate. But this one probably is, maybe. No, it's not. It's because I'm touching the back there. So that's not touching this LED. So I wonder if I can get some conformal coating under that, and I might be able to leave this LED attached. Still not looking great. Just worried if a bit of solder mask is going to be good enough for that, but we'll give it a go. Right, let's get out the microscope. Right, so just got some of this mechanic solder mask. I've had this for quite a while now. It just never seems to go off and just keeps going and going. It's a full tube because you hardly need to use any of this. The only trouble is it doesn't come with a plunger. So you kind of like just have to take the bottom off and just shove something up there just to give you a little bulge out the end. Get that on a toothpick or any other small implement and we'll just spread it around there. So I'm just going to spread this around. Let me flip it the other way so it's easier for me to get this under there. You want to try and get it under that LED as well. Because what we're going to have to do next is scrape some of this part back and recreate the connection. So we're going to have to solder a wire onto here and a wire onto this leg. But let's get this all set. So we've just got our UV light here. Put it on there. Oh look, it makes the LEDs go woo! So we're just going to leave that over there. That will set the solder mask. Give that 5 minutes or so. And then we'll hit it with a bit of heat as well, just to make sure it's nice and dry. Right, it's been on there a good few minutes now. Focus. So let's add a bit of heat to this. Still only got this on 150. Yep, that's all gone nice and hard. There we go. Let's get the multimeter back on continuity. Let's just make sure that this piece of copper for this LED isn't touching. No, that's fine. Let's flip it round. Let's put a bit on the back of there. Just test these, make sure nothing's touching the back plate. All sounds fine. That is all looking good. So all we need to do now is connect a piece of wire up from the little bit of copper we've got hanging out of here onto this pad. So we'll scratch this back, get some solder on there. Let's get the soldering iron ready. Now let's see if these diodes are connected. So I think I can go from this one to there. So yes, that is working. If I go from that one to that one's working. So if I now go into continuity mode, this side of this diode should be connected to this, which it is. So we've got a good connection there. And is it connected to the back? No, there's no short there. So hopefully that is that. Okay, shall we plug this back into the TV and see what happens? Right, let's plug it in, see what happens. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, that's popping down there. Can hear a popping that's still shorting out. Right, it's not quite repaired. Let's get it back on the table. I did hear a little crack as I plugged it in. Well, when it was plugged in. Are we shorted again? Ugh. We're back to being shorted. And it's voice over me here. So we try to scrape back some of the solder mask, scrape back some of the plastic covering over the copper, just to try and make a greater difference, or greater distance rather, between the charred part and the sort of copper, just to try and get away from that short happening. Then we put a bit more solder mask on it to cover it. And I think in the end I did put a little bit of a thicker enamelled wire on there, just in case that smaller one couldn't carry the current that flows for the LEDs. Because I'm not sure whether it was the arcing that made that wire pop off, but the wire had popped off. So I just thought I'd upgrade to a thicker gauge wire. And let's see how this one turns out. What's going to happen? Well, plug this in this time. Go! No, it's shorting again. I can hear it popping every time. Right, we're shorted in the same place again. Back of this one to there. Oh, continuity. No. No. No, we're not shorting. Right, hold up. Hold up, hold up. Right, I'm just in ohms reading. So obviously we've got this on our back panel. So yeah, touch it, 0 ohms. Touching these LEDs, the outer LEDs, I've got an open line there, or over limit, whatever you want to call it. Open line on these. 20 mega ohms on that one, but on this leg I've only got like 600 ohms. Then on this burnt one I've only got 45 ohms. So that's, I think, is creating short. 167k on that leg, and then over here we're jumping up to the mega ohms again. 16 mega ohms. 1.2 mega ohms. Yeah, 16 mega ohms. So is this under here still bridged a little bit? So yeah, we're chopping out the LED there, the second LED next to it that's on the charred part. I think that's the only way of getting rid of it. So we take our wire off, we scratch back some more pad back to the next LED in the line, solder a longer wire up there, and see how this one goes. Is this going to fix it? Put that back on the ground over there. What are we reading now? Open line. Open line. Right. Hopefully now that should be working. I've got my fingers crossed this time. I've got my hopes up. Right, let's plug this in. Right. Here we go. Is it going to stay on? Put your guesses in the chat. 3, 2, 1, go. Hello, baby. There we go. It's on, it's staying on. The short has gone. Whether we're going to get a little dim line down there on the screen, we don't know. We'll find out when we put it back together. Right, let's get this back together and see what the screen looks like. But we've done it. Right, let me discharge these caps. Can't see anything now. I've got like lights all in front of my eyes. Right, ready for the big switch on. I've got the remote for my curved TV in the front room, which is a Samsung. Hopefully that will operate this one. And there we go, putting the plug in. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so obviously it's not going to turn. Oh, it is going to turn on. That looks good. No, we got a big black line down the side. Oh no. Oh, we got black lines everywhere. And that screen is cracked down the bottom. God damn. Oh well. We tried. Alright. Let me take this off the stand. See it a bit better now. So this side of the screen is all gone. So we've got connection or data issues or something down here. We've got all the lines down the bottom. That's where you can see our cracks, which is obviously giving our data lines up the side. These ones down here. So this was probably already like this. I don't think it's anything I've done. Which lights did we take out? See, the lights we took out were around here as well. So I wonder if that explosion or whatever's gone on there has damaged that part of the screen. Could possibly have happened. But as you can see, I mean, there's no, you can't see any like dull spot over there, but we took 2 LEDs out. Nothing really looks dull. So I wonder if it was dropped and that's what caused the LED to short and burn out. Who knows? Might have taken a hit on that corner. Oh, I was just taking it back apart for shits and giggles. I didn't notice that before while I was cleaning down there. There's those 2 cracks. And I'm not sure whether you're going to see there. I'm not sure whether you can see it, but you can see it. I can see the cracks up here with my eyes. Right by these little plastic things. I can't say whether that was me when I put it back together, whether they was there. I didn't notice it while I was cleaning. Alright, editing Lee here. Here is a video I was taking, or shot when I was taking the screen apart the first time. And you can see the edges of the panel are not damaged at the top of the screen there. So that was when it was apart. It was fine then. And here's another clip of me. Where you haven't seen this. This is where I was about to clean the screen, and I was explaining how you do not want to damage these ribbon cables to the panel. And as you can see there under my finger now, no chips or cracks. And here's the last clip of me. This is where I've got the screen on top and I just slide it in place. Tried to zoom in, but over in that corner just under my watch strap, I can't see any cracks. So is this the moment I do it? Trying to put the bezel back on the board? Is that where I've just squished the corner of the screen and cracked it myself? Who only knows? So yeah, a slightly disappointing finish. What can I say? On the intro. See you in the next one. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, of course.